Okay, so just wanted to let everybody know that we're recording this session so that we can have it available to anybody who wasn't able to make it today. And I have printed copies in the room for those of you here in the room. And so welcome everybody. I would love to have everybody introduce themselves. And let's start with everybody in the room. We're gonna use your sign-ins to chat to be able to get back to you at a later time. But if you can, I'll start. My name is Ann Masters, and I am on the Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy operations team. So when something doesn't fall in one of the three population groups, and we have blended funding like we do on this RFP, I will work on that. And so, Tracy, do you want to?
And I'm Tracy Adair with the Older Adults and Healthy Aging team, the group that works on the seniors funding of the Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy.
Good morning, Allie Jerkovich, Vulnerable Populations team with the Veterans, Senior, Human Services Levy.
Good morning, my name is Kelly Levitt. I am an evaluator with the Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy.
Okay, Joseph, you want to unmute yourself and introduce yourself? Let me try to unmute you from here. We're not hearing you. Hold on one second. Can I individually unmute? Yeah, it's not allowing me to.
They should be able to unmute themselves.
Yeah. Joseph, it appears that you're still muted. Oh, he said he can't unmute. Okay, let's go to Sabrina. Let's see if this is a problem we're having with everybody. Sabrina, do you want to unmute your phone and introduce yourself? She can't unmute either. Okay, so that's me. So hold on one second. Is it participant actions? All right, so so let's just rely on everybody to mute themselves individually when you're not talking. So let's try this again. Joseph.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Joseph Jordan. I'm an attorney at Northwest Justice Project. I supervise our foreclosure unit. We provide foreclosure defense services to low and middle income homeowners in Washington. And our unit has been in existence since around 2010.
Great, thank you. Sabrina?
Hi everyone, I'm Sabrina Jones. I'm the Director of Assistant Services with Sound Generations, and I oversee a few of our programs, a few that refer, that provide legal services to aging adults, and our information and assistance line that provides referrals throughout King County.
Great, thank you. Jan? Jan, you can, you'll have to unmute yourself. Okay. Oh, there we go. Jan? She's on hold. Maybe she put us on hold. Okay. All right. So I'm going to move forward with our presentation. And I want to, hold on one second. For many Native communities and nations, land acknowledgement is a traditional custom. And for non-Indigenous communities, it's a way of showing respect and honoring this land and the remembrance of history. So let's not forget that we're on the traditional land of the Duwamish people, the first people of Seattle. It's with honor and gratitude of the land and the Duwamish tribe that we have the opportunity to live and work on their traditional homeland. And it's not lost on me that you are all working tirelessly to keep people in their homes. So what we're going to cover today is what the Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy is, the overview of the Housing Stability Strategy, which is to prevent inappropriate housing loss, overview of the Housing Counseling and Foreclosure Prevention RFP, a little bit about technical assistance, Zoom grants, and then we'll have time for questions at the end. Again, the conference is being recorded. So what is the VSHSL? And if you've heard us talk about this before, VSHSL is not much easier than saying Veterans, Seniors, and Human Services Levy. So if you hear me slur through VSHSL, please forgive me. So it's a 6-year property tax levy passed by voters in 2017. 2018 was a transition year guided by the VSHSL transition plan that mainly continued services and programs from the former Veterans and Human Services Levy. The VSHSL implementation plan guides investments for the remainder of the levy, the 5 years from 2019 to 2023. The VSHSL promotes housing stability, financial stability, social engagement, healthy living, and service system access for veterans, seniors, and vulnerable populations. Just to give a definition of them, a senior is a person who is at least 55 years old. A veteran is a person who served either active duty or reservist of one of the armed forces or in the National Guard. Vulnerable populations are those persons or communities that are susceptible to reduced health, housing, financial, or social stability outcomes because of current experience of or historical exposure to trauma, violence, poverty, isolation, bias, racism, stigma, discrimination, disability, or chronic illness. The guiding principle of the VSHSL is to build and improve connections. Connections among the people the levy serves and among the people and organizations that provide the levy services. Many of us can attest to the fact that people do best when they feel a sense of belonging based in personal relationships and connections to community. The field of human services exists to undo unjust structures that historically and currently allocate benefit and burden in ways that favor some people and disfavor others. Equity and social justice is a key to the work of the levy and embedded as principles throughout the RFP. We seek to support organizations that are reflective of and embedded in the communities they serve, and recognize and address the disparities and disproportionality that exist in our communities. This program is going to fund an entity or entities to provide counseling, mediation, financial, legal, and related assistance to help low and fixed income homeowners in King County avoid housing loss due to foreclosure. 2017 census data shows that there was 36,820 homes with a mortgage in King County for which the household income is less than $50,000. Of households earning $50,000 or less per year, 95% were housing cost burdened. Also noted in this data is 17% of households with a mortgage, they also maintained a second mortgage, home equity, or both. This strategy, which is prevent inappropriate housing loss, falls under housing stability. While preventing inappropriate housing loss was a strategy in the previous levy, foreclosure prevention was not. Based on community feedback through meetings and conversations leading up to the current levy, housing counseling and foreclosure prevention was added as a strategy and implemented last year during the levy's transition, which contracts ended in August. Low and fixed income homeowners, along with current service providers in King County, informed the need for inclusion of HS5A, housing counseling and foreclosure prevention, in the VSHSL. Additionally, we held a community planning session, which some of you attended in July, to inform the language and components of this RFP. So housing counseling, I think I'm ahead of myself here. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so the scope of work is for housing counseling and foreclosure prevention services that lead to foreclosure prevention and or loss mitigation. So that could be financial or legal or some other innovative services that I perhaps didn't come across or think of during the writing of this RFP. It also includes resource referral and navigation and outreach and education. This is to serve all three populations, veterans, seniors, and vulnerable populations, with an emphasis on persons of color, immigrants and refugees, and those with disabilities. The funding is blended, as I said, from all three populations' proceeds. There is up to $1,234,000 available for the program period of 2020 to 2023. And applicants should fully consider the annual cost to run your program and submit a budget that reflects that. You'll have the opportunity to call out one-time startup costs if needed. The 2021 to 2023 funding is contingent on approval of the budget. Okay, applicants, of course, must serve King County communities. Applicants must demonstrate sufficient experience, expertise, and ability to provide the service for which they're applying. For example, if you're applying for housing counseling services, applicants must demonstrate expertise in financial counseling related to home ownership and foreclosure. If you're applying to legal counseling or legal aid services, applicants must have licensed staff admitted to the practice of law in the state of Washington and specializing in foreclosures in either direct or supervisory capacity to provide necessary legal advice, dispute resolution, benefits advocacy, etc. Nonprofits, community-based organizations, tribes and tribal organizations, public or governmental agencies are encouraged to apply. Multiple contracts are expected, so that combined, the awarded contractors will provide all of the services outlined in the scope of work. And respondents may apply as a single applicant or a consortium of providers. So Section 5 of the RFP outlines the contract requirements. And I wanted to talk about two in particular. The evaluation section. King County will work with funded programs to develop an evaluation plan. So you're not required to submit a fully detailed, fully developed evaluation plan, but please be sure that your program model accounts for the anticipated core performance measures. So you'll see those in the RFP. How many, how well are they better off? And data collection reporting section. We expect you to be continuously collecting client level data and report quarterly by an online reporting system that we have. And that data will help us access quality of services and client outcomes. And there are narrative reports that are due once a year. We do have staff here from the performance measurement and evaluation team to answer any of those related questions at the end of the presentation. Okay, so this is an approximate timeline. We, of course, released the RFP on September 11th, and today is the bidders conference. The final day for small agencies to initiate a request for application or technical assistance is October 9th. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. The final day to submit questions is October 16th, and the RFP responses are due on October 23rd. We'll review the responses late October and through early November. If necessary, if we have some outstanding questions that came up from the RFP review panel, we'll do those the week of November 12th through 15th. And then we expect to award the decisions sometime in December. And the anticipated contract start date is January 1st. Again, proposals are due by 11:59 on October 23rd. I encourage you all not to wait until the last minute to start your application. You never know when technology fails us, and or you're having some difficulties and you need to contact the help desk at Zoom Grants. I doubt they'll be available at 11:58 p.m. And obviously that won't give you enough time to fix the problems at that point. So please start early. Complete submittals need to include responses to the summary questions, responses to the narrative questions, the budget, and the organizational diversity chart. Samples and templates are in the RFP attachments in Zoom Grants. And of course I have some in the room today. The rating criteria, there are several questions under each of these categories, but 30 points will be given to program description, 25 points for experience and ability, 20 for equity and social justice, 15 for budget and fiscal, 10 for data collection and evaluation. I will assemble a review panel. We'll meet twice between October 30th and November 13th. To discuss and score applications. The review panel may be made up of King County staff, subject matter experts, evaluators, possibly members of the VSHSL Advisory Board and Women's Advisory Board, community members, and members or designees of the King County Council. However, they are non-voting members. Final selections are made by the King County Division and Department Directors based on recommendations from this review panel. Contracts will be executed based on those final selections. So free support is available for small organizations, fewer than 20 FTE, and less than 4 million operating budget in the prior fiscal year. We contract with 4 organizations to provide application or technical assistance. They understand this RFP. And October 9th, as I said, is the last day to contact one of the 4 providers. Their profiles are in attachment D of the RFP and the funding page of our website, which I have on the slide. So here are the 4 agencies, 501 Commons, Emerging Design, Belay Consulting, and Varenti Consulting. If you are eligible, they can help with things like telling your story, articulating your program model, helping you submit the strongest application, helping you design a budget, estimate costs, and set a plan for capacity building, if applicable. They can provide critical feedback on your application, including, have you described your strengths and assets? Are you answering to the main goals of the investment? They can help edit, give you editing support to ensure you are succinct when sometimes a character amount might limit your answer. And they can help guide you through the Zoom Grants platform and help you navigate common issues. Once more, the deadline for that is October 9th. So Zoom Grants is the online application portal we use. Applications can access and view RFP information and submit bids for programs, services outlined in the RFP. Once again, all applications must be submitted through this portal by 11:59 on October 23rd. The Bidders Conference will be uploaded to Zoom Grants as well as the FAQs, so you'll want to check back periodically and frequently to see if there are any new questions that you might have that are answered in our FAQs. That includes the questions today and others submitted in writing. Okay, the open RFP period is rooted in equity, so no one has special access to information. To ensure equal access to information, the Bidders Conference video is going to be posted to Zoom Grants and the VSHSL website. FAQ of today's session will be uploaded to Zoom Grants in the Library tab. You can email questions after today's session to me, Ann Masters, anne.masters@kingcounty.gov. And I'll compile those questions, answer them, and put them in the FAQ document that will be uploaded in the Library tab. So now I will take any questions. If you have them, you could either put them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself and ask over the phone.
Hi, this is Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, so I was just wondering about the scope of work. Does the organization have to provide all three under the scope of work, or can it provide two of the three or one of the three?
Right, so we expect to have multiple awards, and we don't expect or even know of any organizations that provide all of those services together in one organization. So yes, if you're applying for legal aid, then obviously we'll have to award the financial counseling piece to another organization.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So if we are so we could apply essentially with all of our focus being under the resource and referral part.
You could.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions?
No, I don't have any questions. I might, excuse me, when I talk to the higher ups here, I may have some questions, but if there's a opportunity to still ask questions later, I don't have any right now.
Okay, yeah, all right, thank you. And it looks like there's another guest online. I didn't maybe joined earlier. Okay, okay. All right, well, if that's the end of the questions for today, we'll end the presentation. And please, if you have additional questions, feel free to send them to me. And as I said, I won't be answering them right away. I'll compile them in an FAQ and add those to the Zoom Grants
And I do have a question. Will you be emailing us the presentation?
I can do that.
I would
Sure.
appreciate that. Thank you. Or let me know where I can find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, if that's everything, then thank you for participating today. And I hope you have a great afternoon.